Hey everybody, so we're out here in Salt Lake City. This is the big week for doTERRA. It's a convention week where we get to learn all about new products, what the company's doing, and there's opportunities for other business learning. So it's a really good time. And this year they had their first ever men's kind of, basically it ended up being like a mindset training, which it's pretty huge because doTERRA is like 98% women. So to have something that was just kind of more geared towards guys was huge. And then the other part of it was mindset, because I mean, if we're being honest, guys aren't huge into mindset. Something I've been working on for years now, basically because I'm in doTERRA and I see the value in it. But a lot of guys don't really even think about it. So that was kind of the idea behind the whole training. It was it went from 10 to 3, so pretty long training. But there's some really great ideas that came up with that training, and I just wanted to kind of share some of those for the guys out there, and wives, if you want to share some of these with your guys. You know, it was some things powerful. The big thing, I guess, like the overall theme of it really was what it means to be a man, and to change the perspective of that. So going from a perspective of violence, destruction, masculinity, hiding your emotions, all of that kind of thing, to really being open to the idea of expressing your emotions, and being open to the idea of different aspects of manhood rather than being the sole provider for the family, rather than, being the one that protects everybody. Just kind of more of a, I guess, really like an archaic way of looking at men. Okay, so some of the things that I really liked about it, one was meditate every day for men. And that's kind of like it's a weird thing for a lot of guys to think about, but to actually talk with yourself, to sit down, to find silence, and spend a couple of minutes to like 10 minutes a day meditating, just being with yourself in silence and talking with yourself. Another one of the guys actually put it in a way of like, list out what made you fall in love with your wife or your partner, and then look at those attributes in yourself and actually look at falling in love with yourself, which was, I mean, that's kind of out there, but it's an interesting concept to, actually find yourself, find your own identity. And as men, that's something that we don't really do that much. So that was a really kind of different concept. The other thing that I really liked is this statistic, basically, of 2% of people stop and think every day, 3% of people think they're thinking, and 95% of people are scared to death to even think. And I thought that was just an interesting concept of, again, that idea of stopping and thinking and, identifying where you are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and, working on those to be a better person. One of the other guys that spoke said that, think of every man as a king and a warrior. And before that, he actually had put it into perspective of, that doesn't mean violence and destruction. So I like that, and that's something that I'm thinking about, just redefining that as a man. What is a king and what is a warrior? If you're taking out, historically what a king and a warrior was, kind of a violent person. So something else to think about. And the other big thing, I think, for guys that was just this idea of checking in with yourself every day in 4 areas, which it was very similar to some of kind of like what Brandon Burchard teaches, and a lot of personal development people teach on it. But in the realm of spiritual, emotional, physical, so like movement is what he said. Like, are you in pain when you move? Do you move every day? Are you getting some sort of exercise? And then personal development. So those 4 areas, you want to focus on every day, checking in with yourself and making sure that you're making progress in every one of those different areas. Kind of leads to a more fulfilling life, a life of abundance. So that was it. Just wanted to share some of that with you, and love to hear your ideas, your thoughts in the comments below. So just post them there. All right, thanks.